Hey guys, welcome back to the Oilers Fanatic. Today, I'm going to start a new series called Twitter Quick Hits. I'll go through and collect interesting news and rumors from reports on Twitter and give my takes on them here. Here's what I have today. First up, regarding Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. This is older news back from Sunday, but Kurt Levins of the Edmonton Journal, via his 9 Things article, a must-read by the way, reported the following. It has been suggested to me by several wise, in-the-know people that Holland probably has a brown envelope with about $30 million sitting in it. That amount of cash could buy a shorter-term contract with a player at a higher AAV, or as I suggested in this space last week, Nugent-Hopkins could look at a longer-term security but with a lower annual cap hit. But the key is that the $30 million, if indeed that's an accurate amount, probably only leaves Holland with just enough dough left to accomplish the other urgent roster needs. And remember, retaining Ryan Nugent-Hopkins does not automatically make the Oilers a better team than they were the year before. If any GM spends too much money to merely run in one spot, then he is probably not improving the team. So if an agent is asking for dollars in term comparable to what Hyman or, say, Taylor Hall might command, then the general manager then needs to be impartial and ask himself the tough question. Who's the better player? And look, all three of Nugent-Hopkins, Hyman, and Hall are good players. But who has the resume as the most impact performer? Who drives the game 5-on-5? Whose team made it to the second round of the playoffs this past season? Zach Hyman's career year is 21 goals and 41 points. Nuge is arguably coming off his worst. I believe the Oilers are in the driver's seat with Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, just as Hall likely is in Boston and Hyman with the Maple Leafs. But if Edmonton doesn't get the better players, they risk landing on the status quo, and I don't know anyone who will be okay with that. So my take on all this, if it's $5 million times 6, I'm good with that. $6 million times 5 years, that's a different story. I wouldn't go above $5.5 million for Nuge. I'd love to have him back, but not at any price. It has to be the right price. The Oilers have to improve the top 6. Next up is Adam Larson. The latest on Adam Larson comes from David Pagnotta of the Fourth Period. He reports, there hasn't been much progress yet on a contract extension for Oilers defenseman Adam Larson, but I'm told Edmonton and Larson's camp will resume negotiations this week. I wouldn't read anything negative from this. All reports earlier said a deal was close, and I think that's still the case. Just a matter of working out the final details. I want Larson's contract to top out at $4 million per year for a maximum of 4 years. Ideal situation, the cap number starts with a 3, and the contract term is 3 years. Next up, we'll be talking the Oilers jerseys. This comes in from Tom Gazzola of TSN. For the jersey geeks like me, expect the Oilers to make the navy uniform the team's primary home look while sprinkling in some games using the orange next season. A return to royal blue could come after, perhaps with a modernized look. Haven't heard anything on reverse retros. And Jason Greger had this follow-up. The players didn't like the reverse retros, which is why they only wore them twice last season. I'd be surprised we see them very often. I find this all disappointing because I love them, and I hope they aren't gone for good. The royal blue is my favorite though, and I'd love to see those make a return. I like the navy blue and orange, but I think they are better suited to be a third jersey. Alright, lastly guys, expect the unexpected. I'm sure the majority of Oilers fans have heard of Tracy Lane and her Oilers source, Garfield. Now, please take the following tweets with huge grains of salt. I think I heard Garfield was right once, but even a broken clock is right twice a day. First up from Tracy Lane, she states the Oilers are out on any goalie from the Columbus Blue Jackets, as per Garfield. Well, if this is true, maybe the Columbus Blue Jackets are asking too much, or maybe the Oilers have already zeroed in on other targets. Next up, she states the Oilers are interested in Patrick Nemeth if he reaches free agency, a Ken Holland favorite. I don't know if Nemeth moves the needle in any way, just another depth defenseman. Couldn't hurt, I guess, as long as others are ready to play in front of him. Next up, if the Oilers can't move Kassian, he could be a candidate for a buyout next season. I really hope the Oilers can move Kassian. We really don't want too much more dead cap space with buyouts. If he ultimately stays, fingers crossed that he can bring back the effectiveness he once had before his new contract. Next, she states, expect an announcement this week. Expect the unexpected. Okay, I guess. What could be happening with the Oilers that would be unexpected? A major trade? Management shift? Ownership? All just a guess at this point. And lastly, she puts Philip Grubauer and Chris Drager are goaltenders of interest to the Oilers. Well, I would hope so. They are two very good goaltenders, and I'd be thrilled if the Oilers could land either one. I don't think they will, but one can hope. Well, that's all for today, guys. As always, thanks for stopping by and supporting the channel. Enjoying the videos? Please like and subscribe. You've been listening to The Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan.